I am so excited because we have an award-winning designer, okay? I wanted to just say like designer in home, but she's about to surprise us all with what she does as a designer, okay? So I don't want to limit it just with one thing because she does multiple things. We have the beautiful Dahlia Mahmood, and I'm so excited to have her here in the building.
Thank you, Raina. It is such a pleasure to be here with you and your audience. I am so honored to be here today.
I am so excited because I'm going to tell like the viewers all the time, it's either I interview people that I know personally or I interview people that I'm spiritually connected through social media. And I saw your beautiful face. It was just like a total connection. I was like, God, okay, you're saying to reach out to this beautiful woman. I am going to reach out. And you responded. And I just wanted to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to have you on my show.
And it is such a great pleasure. And I have that gift too, where I knew when you reached out to me, I'm like, I got to talk to her. Definitely. I felt that connection. I really did, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So as on Purpose and Passion, we like to dig deep into people, right? To get to know them, find out what, their passion and what their purpose is. So the two questions that I usually try to ask within the interview is, what is your purpose and what is your passion?
I think that to understand my purpose and passion, I got to take you through my journey, my story.
Because please do.
That's really how one discovers it, I think. And I think that, so my parents came from Baghdad, Iraq, to pursue their higher education here in California. And I was born in sunny California, literally 5 minutes from Disneyland. And at the age of 5, I knew I was going to be a designer. Disneyland was my playground. And we were literally there every weekend. Back then it didn't cost as much as it does now.
Correct.
So I wasn't fascinated by the rides or anything. I was fascinated by how Walt Disney can create these environments that adults and children from around the world could appreciate. And I wanted to be a part of that magic. And I told my mom, well, if Walt Disney can do it, then why can't I do it, Mom? And I'm going to be a famous designer. I knew. I mean, it's just something that some people know so early on age and some people never know. But I knew at that moment that that's what I wanted to do. And there was a lyric, Raina, that we heard all the time growing up, but it stuck to me. And it goes like this. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. And that is something that has stuck in my head. Well, if that can be, I just have to believe.
Yes.
But the confident Dahlia that you see today wasn't like that growing up. So when I was in school, I was constantly bullied because of my name. It sounded different. And I was told as a female Arab American woman, my dreams were not valid. And it was the women, the strong women in my life that shaped me to who I am today. My grandmother, I only met her once, and it would be the first and last time I would see her. And we visited her in Iraq, and she was on her deathbed, and she told me everything. She told me our family history. My great-grandfather was Prince Bedr Khan, the last prince of the Kurdish Empire. And so when Saddam Hussein came into power, he stripped our title and our lands and took everything. And my grandmother said to me, Dahlia, they can take it all, but they can never take what's in your heart and what's in your blood. And my mother my parents divorced when I would think I was about 8 or 9 years old. And it was extremely difficult for me. I was daddy's little girl. And it's hard enough to lose a parent if it was a death, but it's even harder to lose a parent that's alive and just vanishes away from your life.
Yes.
It's painful. You know how. And so my mother, tried to shield this as much as possible in the terms of, she did the best that she could, but she now was a single mom with 2 girls, didn't know the language, didn't have any family and friends, and we struggled. We really struggled. And in that time, I never forget, Raina, my mother did a yard sale and she was selling everything because we were relocating from California to the East Coast. So she got a job and we were limited of what we could take. And I remember that day she sold everything, and she sold my toys. And I was so devastated. And I never forget my mother crying to me and telling me, Dahlia, I know you don't understand the sacrifices that I'm doing, and I'm sorry I have to do this. And she was bawling that I'm going to make it up to you. But I want you to learn this, Dahlia. Never depend on anybody, not a man or anybody. You have to work for it, and always with honor and respect, and to be independent. And that, Raina, stuck in my head. And I got tired of seeing my mom hustling from, I'm putting daycare to daycare, babysitter to babysitter. I want a better life. And that's what it took for me at 17 to say, no, I'm going to start my own business. And I boldly started Dahlia Design from the ground up,
Wow.
and not as an entry-level designer, but as my own boss. And of course, dismissed, constantly hear you're too young and you're missing out on the movies, you're missing out on friends. But I was determined to succeed no matter what. And so I started Dahlia Design and, was hustling, doing everything, just soul interior design. And I landed at the right place at the right time. I was there at Jay Leno's show as in the audience with my friend, there to see NSYNC. You remember NSYNC?
Yes, It's like the newer version of New Kids on the Block, right?
Exactly. So NSYNC. I was there for NSYNC, and then Jay Leno at the end of the show says, "Who wants to go backstage?" And the girls screaming, and he picked me and my friend, and I go backstage to meet NSYNC, but NSYNC leaves. So who's there? Chris Tucker from Rush Hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was promoting Rush Hour. And I always, Raina, I had 17, I had my business card. My mother had remarried, and my stepfather was a printer. So I had my cards. I gave it to Chris, not thinking anything. He asked me what I do. Wow. And sure enough, he did call me. And I ended up doing his house. And that's how it all really was my biggest break, was Chris Tucker.
Wow. Just hearing your whole story is just so inspiring. And I love your energy. You're so powerful. I love it.
Oh, thank you. So Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, and it started going from, word of mouth and learning. But Raina, it was this thing that I had that I really was good with people. I really had this thing that I could read a room without even walking into it, Wow. It was that kind of a thing, that feeling, very in tune with things, but I didn't know that my life would take a dramatic turn and it would take it to another level. And that's what happened. When I married my husband, he had nothing to do with, the industry. He was a professional soccer player that he played in Morocco, and he was in the telecommunication industry. No relation. But I was just solely doing interior design. And I told him, look, I can take Dahlia Design to the next level if we do construction. I need to take it from the idea of conception to the end. And it's the same, flawless vision from A to Z. And he said, okay. I said, but I need you to get your construction license. And he did. And usually construction license could be 5 years, 2 years to do it. He did it in 1 week. And that's how Scorpio, when the Scorpio puts them on it.
Man, the universe was definitely working for you guys' favor. Woo!
Yes. So we got that, and, projects were coming in, and we were taking it, all these different things. But then I became a mother, and that's when I hit rock bottom. My life made a dramatic detour. So with my first son, we landed in the wrong hands at the doctor on call. And let's just say, Raina, into your audience, that we were in critical condition. She had no experience, and she put my life and my son's life in very bad situation.
Wow.
And I saw, I was losing a lot of blood. My heart rate was dropping, but I saw like a light that's it. I'm leaving this earth, And I was, please let me stay alive. Just let me make sure this baby gets born and let me just be alive. And I see myself drifting. And like, I feel I could hear the monitor like beep, 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 beep. And I'm just seeing a light, following that light. And I knew that he came out but there's no response. You know, you always hear like, you're gonna hear the baby cry like that.
Yes.
There was nothing. And there was a nurse that had she not pushed that doctor away and took over, we would never have made it. There's no way.
Wow.
It was a miracle that we survived it. And that doctor ended up losing her license. And when I came out of that, luckily my son pulled through. We both pulled through. It took me 6 months to learn how to walk again. I mean, it was horrific. Okay. So with that, I kept going, Raina. I just kept going that even with that, I shield that pain. And it was like Rocky, you know, that eye of the tiger that just keeps being knocked down in life, but comes back up. Okay, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. Yes. It took 5 years to me recover mentally from that trauma to have another child. And then when I had the other child, everything was fine, pregnancy-wise and delivery-wise, but I was busier than ever with Dahlia Design, projects left and right, and the doctor was telling me to slow down. And it was like one thing I was doing, Caron Butler, I don't know if you know him, he's an NBA player now, he's the Miami Heat coach.
Yes.
Coach. The most of us home, I was in his home, I was doing Royal. I mean, you name it, it was at peak in my career, but I was in my low of my low. And I'm trying to keep going and going. And then my son was born early. And then he's born early and he spent a month in the NICU. And that meant that, Raina, that we didn't know what was wrong with him. He looked normal and everything, but he kept having bradycardia things where basically they have to keep reviving him. You know, he would out of it. Like you would feed him and then he passes out and they have to revive him. So imagine as a mother, that emotional roller coaster.
Yes, of course.
So I'm glued to his monitors. And that's when God has a way of taking your biggest nightmare and making it a blessing. A miracle happens. So I noticed in that time, I would constantly notice a mother's cry. And it didn't matter. I knew the rooms by the mother's cry. I knew what mother had a setback just based on her cry. I knew that mother was in pain. And we were all from different walks of the world. But we all shared the same thing, that love for your child.
Yes, motherhood.
Motherhood. And then there was a nurse, her name was Nurse Jackie. She said, I noticed that you have never left your son's sight. You got to take care of yourself. You got to go walk around the hospital. Just go walk. Just take some fresh air. It's not healthy for you. You've been a month just glued to him. You got to do it for yourself. I said, okay. So I go around the hospital and I end up in the chemotherapy examination rooms on the 5th floor. And I noticed that these rooms, these examination rooms were themed, you know, were a magical environment that even though these children were sick, it could somewhat put a smile on their face because it was less fearful to be in those examination rooms because everything was so beautifully decorated. And it stuck in my head. I remembered that. Oh, that's what design is about. It's, you know, you can change people's lives, you know, even just for it had I had a whole nother perspective of it, you know, another thing. And so luckily my son pulled through, normal everything. And what do I get, Raina, when I get out of the hospital? I got a call from one of the members of the royal family and says to me, Dahlia, coincidence? Not. Says, Dahlia, we want you to do our children's room. And don't worry about the budget. You have all full artistic freedom. Just do something unique. We want something different, not something that you can buy from a retail shop. Just create some magical space. And then it was bingo. So that's when it all came full circle, where the Disney days. Now this perspective that I have now, I knocked it out of the park. And
wow.
That's what changed Dahlia Design. That room became front cover of Wall Street Journal. Those rooms, there were two, those rooms became on the Daily Mail and, all over Wall Street Journal and Pinterest's 50th most viewed rooms. See how things, you're destined for things. And then that's when I realized when my sons, both of them pulled through, what was the message that I needed to hear that kept getting louder and louder is that I need to, if I'm going to pull your kids through, you're going to have to do something for my children, the world's children, and help the youth. So I started really devoting my free time of helping and inspiring youth that, hey, dream big, don't let your circumstances be in your way. You can believe, just believe in yourself, do it with your heart. And when you truly believe from your heart, anything is possible. Again, back to that lyric. And so I started mentoring, helping kids, and that's how Dahlia Design evolved. And now we are in the top 100 design firms. We are consecutively, year after year, 200 most influential interior designers. In 2018, I competed with designers from around the world and won it for the USA of timeless classic designer for 1,000 square feet, above the 1,000 square feet meter home. And it came to me, like when that opportunity came, it was 3 years they were asking me, submit. And I'm thinking, around the world, there's no way I'm going to have a chance. This is around there. But see, when it's meant for you, it's going to fall right in your lap.
Yes.
Coming back and back. 3 years, coming back to me. So I said, okay, what do I got to lose? Let me just submit. And sure enough, from the 1,000 got limited to 20, then to the 6, and then the top 3. And I win it. So that's the thing is when you do something wholeheartedly,
yes,
confidence has no competition. And that's the work could speak for itself, but it's truly the character and the determination that even though my life had its ups and curves and roadblocks and rejection, it's that thing of never giving up. And that's really where the passion and the purpose, I understand it. And I'm trying to, every day it's work. Every day it's, it's inner battles that we all go through. We all have that inner dialogue that wants to tell us we're not good enough or we don't have a chance. And it's constantly battling it daily. I'm not perfect. I'm not better than anybody else out there. We're all the same. It's just that determination. No, we can be bitter or we can be better. I can allow my life circumstances make me bitter, or I can allow those wounds to make me wise. Choice.
Wow, that you just blew me out the water right now. Like, okay, so now I'm from LA. So when I ask the question, just know that I'm trying to figure it all out. So you said the royal family. When you say the royal family, you mean the royal family?
Not British royal family. It's a Middle Eastern royal family.
Okay, that's beautiful. No, because royal is royalty, But I was just like, I'm like, what? Okay.
But Raina, because having those experience so early on with royalty is that you really, having that experience, you can do anybody. Because imagine with royal, you gotta think about they got an entourage. They got people all around them. So it's not just the client that you have to work with. You got the people that might have their ear too. Maybe this is not so nice. Maybe you should do this. It's hard to navigate when you have multiple people having their opinion, when it's just really.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, okay, who's the royal family? And on top of that, that has to probably be the hardest job to take compared to a regular celebrity. You know what I mean? Because a celebrity is kind of like a sit down one-on-one, but with a royal family, it's everything. It's a hierarchy.
Yes, correct. And but if you can do anybody, and people are people. And this is what I think, that's why I always put the song Glamorous, Glamorous is
because, I love that song.
I mean, even though, I'm exposed to the glitz and glam, but really ultimately what's the most that should sparkle is this, the heart.
Yes, your heart. I mean, your story is so inspiring. Like, my goodness, you think about your beginnings, like you come from royalty, you know what I mean? And then
lost it.
Yes.
It's gone.
And lost it as in the form of, like when somebody takes something away, kind of like a title, but you're still royalty. And look how God has still have you around royalty. You know what I mean? And to me, you look royalty. Like when I went through your social media, I was like, she is so classy. And then I started looking at your shirt and I was like, oh my God, look at my color. I was like,
colors.
I was like, oh my God, and mustard looks so fabulous. It looks so fabulous. I just, that beautiful golden mustard color. And I was just checking you out. I was like, oh my God, we were thinking of the same color today.
You know what it is? I think we're thinking because it's a new year and we want golden vibes,
Hey, that's what I like. Yes, queen, yes. I love it. Oh my God. All I can say is I'm very inspired by your story because you're a woman that, that came to United States, you know what I mean? Starting from scratch, your mom, and then you built your dream, which was the vision you saw as a child.
Yeah.
I will never look at Disneyland the same now because I was the one looking at the rides. And now when I go back with my kids, looking at the design. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, you just gave me a whole nother perspective. And I was like, oh my God, next time I go, I'm going to start looking at the designs, the interior, I never thought about that. I was there for the rides, and I just feel like, wow, like your story is so inspiring. And now I understand why God was like, you have to contact her. She needs to be on your show. Oh. Now I understand the purpose and passion about you. And I know you have more than that. I know you do. I believe me, I know you do. And then, so I want to also talk about what did you face in 2021 this year with personal or business with COVID? You know what I mean? I want you to talk about that because you talked about a business when you talk about construction, working on houses, how the freaking wood went from this level to sky high level prices.
I mean, Raina and the audience, first of all, we as an industry, we've been so blessed. We really, as an industry, we're blessed that people now have a whole nother outlook of their homes. It shifted. So now people have such an appreciation of their home because they spend so much time in it. They want to do renovations or they had to make things work. Now they have all the kids home and they have to work from home. They have to make some accommodations in the home to make it comfortable for everybody to be or they're not vacationing anymore. So now they want to have all the amenities in their home, like a wellness center or a spa room or whatever. We were blessed with this big, huge burst of, so many jobs coming in, but it was like one moment because it was now you have what we budgeted, like you've seen on my Instagram, that state that we are building. That was a 9-month project. I'm on year 2. Why? Because of this. Is because the delays, the inflation of prices of getting materials, not supply chain issues, people getting sick, and workforce, are limited, whether they're sick or whether they're not working because they have to now be a mom, a dad at home with their kids and they cannot work like they used to be. All of these we were navigating, so it was extremely challenging. And as a leader, it's my job to kind of ride these waves and try to make it smooth for the team. But when the face of the leader also gets sick and goes down, it was extremely difficult. So I got COVID 4 days before my birthday. And boy, was it difficult. My case was in the 2%. it affected me, not with breathing, but more of severe nausea and gastro issues. And it was awful, awful. And so I was out for a month. And so it's navigating that, and imagine, not being on the team and isolated from your children, your family, and your team. It was so hard. And we're all riding these waves, and it continues to be challenging, but we just keep going and doing the best that we can under these circumstances. And we have clients that are so understanding, and we have some clients that are not, and all in this together, everybody's feeling it in some way, shape, or form. So it was definitely, I would say 2021 was a challenging year. It had its blessings, but there were some heartaches, of course. But again,
I was explaining.
Go ahead.
I was so sorry. No, continue.
No, please. You were?
Oh no, I was saying that I was talking to some of my friends, and I was telling them that this year is the year that we didn't get what we wanted, but we should be. This is the year to be grateful for what we do have. What we experienced, how we survived it, because there's a lot of people that passed away due to COVID. You know what I mean? A lot of people got laid off because of certain reasons due to COVID. And it's just like when you were talking about how, like, you've experienced your ups and downs during 2021, and COVID being one of them, you know what I mean? But you're still standing and you're still here. And, like you said, the leadership, I mean, you being a mom, like I always tell people, when you're a mom and the mom gets sick, it's hard. The house does not function unless you have a nanny. You know what I mean? And then even sometimes with the nanny there, the house is not really functioning because mommy is not present, fully present, in the home, yes, but not fully present to continue that function, And so I can just imagine your leadership, and also being a mother and a wife and going through COVID. It must have been hard, because my cousin in Louisiana, she had COVID and she went through depression because she couldn't get out of her room, and her daughters would put their little fingers through the doorway and be like, "Mommy, just touch me." And she was like, "Mommy can't, I have COVID." They didn't understand because they were toddlers. And she said that would make her cry. And so I remember one time I just spoke to her, and I just spoke life into her. And I was telling her, like, just open your Bible, even if you're not into the Bible, just open that Bible. And I said, I'm going to tell you why, because Bible it means basic instructions before leaving earth. Okay. So we're still on this earth. You open that Bible, you Google, you still have your cell phone, and Google depression, and then find those quotes in the Bible and kind of resonate on that, and just know that depression is not of God, and to stay motivated and to stay in prayer and stay uplifted, because, mental health, it is hard. I remember when everything was shut down and I was stuck in the house. I could say stuck because I'm not going to be embarrassed to say stuck. I felt like I was stuck in the house with 5 kids. I have 11-year-old twins, Omar and Omara. Then I have an 8-year-old daughter, Giselle. Wow. But the ones that gave me these gray hairs are my
Raina, you look fabulous. 5 children?
The 3-year-old twins. The 3-year-old twin boys. The boys are, oh my gosh. So just 5 kids of children under 11 years old was so hard for me as a mom.
I can't imagine.
But I survived.
And the thing is that, we're so taught that, we got to exercise, but we're not taught, like, you need to take care of your inner temple,
Yes.
Your heart, the gratitude, the kindness that,
the mind.
We're not taught that. And I think that if people really understood that, we would be nicer to each other. We would help each other. We would, some people get it, some people don't get that, but we would help and lend hand to each other. I mean, even in these times, I saw the beauty of people, how people would help each other. I saw that, when you choose to really focus and look at those things, you will see more of it. You know what I mean? And it's amazing, like these healthcare workers and all of these people, really to see that, the sacrifices that people have done and neighbors helping each other. That was a beautiful thing, as hard as it was, but there was some beautiful blessings in that, of seeing really how humanity can come together and help each other,
Yes, definitely. And also, I try to look at the positive points of COVID. And one of the positive points is that you have a family unit because everybody's at home. So whether the family weren't getting along, the husband and wife were bickering, almost close to divorce, it was not. And now everybody's like, wow, like now we're stuck at home, understanding each other, communicating, talking, and it brought a lot of unity in the families. Sure. And also understanding for us new moms in this era of the 2000s, you know what I mean? 2001, 2002, all the way to now, that we get a glimpse of our ancestors, like, of the women that were in the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, all the way beyond, how mothers had to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh. So when I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, now I understand what my great grandmother had to go through, and her mother had to go through, and her mother had to go through, because back then, that's what it was. It was like, it was rare that a woman worked, and she had to take care of the home. And that gave me the experience of understanding, like, freaking A, I am the teacher. I am the after school program. I'm the babysitter. I'm the chef, everything. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, if I can survive this, I know I can survive anything else.
Yes. But you're absolutely right. And it humbled us.
Yes, it did.
That we took for granted, and, it forced us to sit home and have dinner. I mean, we're always on the go, like here,
yes.
Do that. But finally, like, it allowed us to really evaluate that, nothing's important in life, really just family. What matters most is our family.
Yeah.
And, our focus shifted, you know what I mean? And women do it all, they can do it all, and be inspiring, work hard and be a good mother, be a good wife.
Yes.
Thing. But definitely I understand what you're saying, because that's exactly how I felt. I was thinking about, how do we do this?
Yep, but we did it though. And then talking about a shift, I was just having this conversation earlier this morning about 2021 and like how I was explaining to my friend that, in the beginning of this year, actually last year, every year I try to go to the ocean because I feel connected to God.
Me too.
And oh my gosh. Oh, see, that is awesome.
See, I love the LA girls. It's something with the ocean. Okay.
And I remember I was in Palos Verdes, and my pastor was fighting for his life. And he told me, Raina, it's okay. You can leave. My wife is on her way, and go ahead and talk to God. And I was like, I am. So I get to Palos Verdes, and there's a special area in Palos Verdes that I love. And I was sitting literally right by the freaking ocean. And I was talking to him, and I was praying and just having a conversation. And then I hit silence so I can hear spiritually. And the first thing that I got, what was so crazy, was that it was going to be a lot of death and a lot of new birth.
Wow.
And I was like, what is this? Like, this is scary, because I've never got that message before, And so I said, well, Father God, right now, I'm just going to pray for our world regarding a lot of deaths. And then I start talking to God, and I was like, okay, so now I think we're going to have the new baby boomer era, because you're saying a lot of life, and then next thing you know, January came, and then Kobe, Kobe, his daughter, and the whole.
Yes.
Man, that was like
devastating.
When that hit, I was like, oh my God, this is a devastation on a whole huge level, because people love the Lakers, people are into sports. And then on top of that, everybody knew how close Kobe and Gigi were, as a daughter and father. So then from there, then it was like a ripple effect. And then COVID happened and everything got shut down. You just seen the numbers on the news. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then from there, through Facebook, you see death. But then you see people, congratulations, I'm pregnant or whatever. And then you're just like, oh my God, this is what God was showing me. And I didn't comprehend until I saw it.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, oh my God, well, you know what, God, after this, I'm going to go into prayer again.
Yeah.
And then I went into prayer again that same day. And then this was the message. The message was that whatever dreams and visions and goals you have, you better make it happen this year.
Wow.
Because in 2022, everything is going to be like a magical year. It's things that you've been manifesting and that you've been working on in 2021. It's going to show itself. The results, it's going to show itself in 2022. And then also he was talking about a spiritual shift that I kind of related to a train. And I mentioned this to a few people that are spiritual in tune, And I said, look, there's a train, and just to picture yourself at the train station in Los Angeles, the big Union Station. And that train is saying to jump on with all your visions, your goals, your manifestations. You have to take action this year. So if you did not jump on that train and take action on your vision and goals, that train is going to leave. And that shift, it's only once in a blue moon those shifts come, and then you're asked out. Yeah. So my friend was like, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, if you don't take action this year, then your 2022, you'll be repeating the 2021 in 2022.
Yeah.
And she was blown away. And so from there, that's when during this pandemic, we were popping the businesses out, online clothing store, the trucking company, and then my nonprofit, because I wanted to give back, because God had 3 assignments for me before I run for mayor of Inglewood next year. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so crazy. But I felt like, I felt like a crazy person just trying to knock out goals, And I accomplished those goals. And so now we're looking into 2022, which is in 2 days or something like that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so with that to say, what is your 2022 looking like?
Raina, I'm not going to rest until there's equal opportunities for women and girls and boys with a name like mine out there. You know what I mean? I'm going to do whatever it takes, whether if it's on television, a design show, whether it's a hotel, I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm not going to rest until I see that there are more opportunities for people with my name. That's my goal.
I agree.
And I'm good. And whether it's 2022 or whatever I am elevated to another level, I will use that platform. I have a sense of duty to help others, and I will take people with me. Yeah. That's how I think. And I think you are the same way. If you're giving that mayor opportunity, I know you're going to open doors to so many people, and it's going to be an example for the people that look what she turned her life around and what she accomplished. And that's what I'm trying every day to be a better person. Because I want to leave a legacy for my children. I want them to be proud.
Yes.
So that's my ultimate goal is just leveling up. And I think 2022, like you said, is the opportunity where no more. We are going after our dreams. We're coming for it.
Yes, it's ours.
It's ours. I'm coming, you're coming, and we're going to have it.
2022, we're going to have to grab it from this ponytail, like, whoop, it's mine.
Yes, it's happening. Enough is enough. We need to go after what we want, because I know that what we want is, it's not just for ourselves. It's not just a goal for ourselves. It's to help other people. And that's where our heart is.
And that's what God wants us to do. It's like once we get to a certain position, he wants us to give back. You know what I mean? I also see you in the future.
Tell me.
Like maybe in 2000, I can see you doing it next year too, but I know that because the pandemic is going to slow down, it is. But I see you creating your own nonprofit.
Okay.
Okay. I also see you creating a mentorship for the young youth and young adults that are in your field. Really? People of color, for everybody, but yes, I definitely know that I see, like, you know, an opportunity for your culture.
Yep.
For the Black and the brown, you know, for people of color in general, because, you know, it's hard for people of color and especially for women. Yes. So I see you having that time, whether it's once a month, you know, on a Saturday or a Sunday, whichever one you choose. But I see you doing that through online, helping people. You know, somebody's going to create a curriculum for you, and then you're going to fix that curriculum because you're the one with the experience. And then you'll be able to flourish so many people that have the vision to do what you do. And that's, you know, being magical, you know what I mean? Magical with the gift that God has given you. You have this talent, and it's no mistake that, you know, you went to the show, you met, what's his name?
Chris Tucker.
Yes. And then you gave him your business card, and then the rest is history. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just so beautiful just to hear your story, and it's inspiring because I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? This is how it started, and this is where we're at. Like, this is so super awesome. And I'm just so excited for you and what you have in store for your passion in your heart to give back to those that wouldn't even qualify to enter a trade school in your field, or don't have the money to go to a university, but they have you to inspire them and to speak life and to educate them, because most of the multimillionaires that I know, they don't even have a college degree.
True.
And it's about, if this is your passion and your purpose to go in this industry, God is going to make a way for you. It doesn't take much to start an LLC. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So I just feel like that's what I see you doing, starting a nonprofit, whether it's next year or 2023, and giving back once a month, you know, on different topics to inspire people that wouldn't have those opportunities because of being a woman or being of color, you know? So I say kudos to you. That's awesome. And that's what God wants you to do. You know what I mean? So I had to just give you this intuition. God always give me this intuition.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share with you.
I appreciate that. And I will definitely take your advice. And that's something that I would definitely do, you know, without in a heartbeat. Because like I said, I was on my hands and knees begging God to protect my kids and pull them through. And in return, I would do everything in my power to use my time and my platform to help others. And I will definitely, without any doubt, do that. So I appreciate that. And I thank you for telling me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Beautiful. So how can our viewers find you, beautiful?
They can find me on Instagram at Dahlia Design LLC. I am not so much of a feeder. I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. Follow me, and I will definitely inspire you, give you glimpses of our work. And it's such a pleasure.
Do you have a website for the older people?
Yes, it's www.dahliadesign.net.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we close the show?
I'm going to end it with follow your heart. Lead, speak, follow from your heart, and go after your dreams. Never give up. Keep going. And it was a pleasure. And I wish all of your viewers such a happy new year, and may all the abundance and blessing come their way.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Well, everyone, this is Raina Carrillo with Purpose and Passion. I am so excited today to just end this interview with abundance and prosperity and just firmness. Like, oh my gosh, like I just feel so inspired, and I hope you guys do as well. Until then, I'll see you next week.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from